Okay guys, this is a very important video. I hope you watched it all the way through to the end. Let me cover a few things that we're going to go over in this video. First of all, I'm giving away 3 of these 2020 American Silver Eagle coins. There's 1 ounce silver, brilliant uncirculated. All you have to do to qualify to win, again, there will be 3 coins I'm giving away. There will be 3 winners. All you have to do is subscribe, leave a like and a comment, and the next live stream I will do a random comment selector to pick the 3 winners. Again, I will check to make sure you left a like and that you're subscribed. If you have not, that will disqualify you. Also, follow me on Twitter. The link will be in the description. It's Optical Art Chart. I'm going on a chartathon. I'm going to be creating new charts for the website, a lot of charts. So if you go to my Twitter account, you notice this pinned tweet up here. Says I'm starting a chartathon. So just tweet down below what chart that you would like me to create. The most requested charts are the first ones I'm going to start with. I'm actually going to create oil first and the dollar index. That has a big impact on the price of Bitcoin. So those will be the first 2. And then I'll go through and do the most requested. And then I'll just knock out as many as I possibly can, add these to the website. When I create these new charts, I will make an update on Twitter, letting you guys know which charts are up and on the website. If you're already paying $19 a month for Bitcoin altcoin charts, again, since I'm going to be creating new charts, the price might go up. But if you're already locked in at 19 bucks a month, or you've already paid lifetime access, if the price goes up, this will not affect you. If you're paying that, you'll continue to pay that. If you've already paid lifetime, doesn't matter because you're already in. But again, the price might go up. So if you cancel and then resubscribe, you'll have to subscribe at that higher price. Or if you haven't already paid for lifetime access and that price goes up, then you'll have to pay that, whatever I decide that price is. But just want to let you know, once these charts are up, I'm giving myself a lot more work, more charts to update. So I am considering actually doing that. So just letting you guys know that. We're also going to cover, I did a live stream yesterday. I do live streams typically every day during the week. From 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when the stock market opens and closes. The stock market has a big impact on the price of Bitcoin. That's why I do these. I'm going to show you in this live stream how I was able to find the bottom when Bitcoin was dropping. We're also going to cover why I think that we're going to be dropping down to 10,500, why that's the point I'm going to be buying in, also where I'll potentially be selling. And we're also going to cover these gaps. A lot of people think these gaps do not need to get filled. I'm going to show you why I think it's very likely these gaps will get filled and why it seems like price actually goes out of its way to fill these gaps. And then also at the very end, I'm going to show you how all of these charts played out. I'm going to time lapse each chart. And that'll include gold, the Dow Jones, Chainlink, Tezos, Bitcoin, all of them. You can just see how these charts played out. This is a pretty long live stream, so I'm just going to let you see how those charts actually played out. So let's get on to the TA, guys. So in this video, I actually create a fib channel. So and take note of the timestamp on this. This is 6 hours, 3 minutes, 38 seconds in. So let me just play a little quick clip of this. There. Let me start from here. All right, that matches. So again, this is how I get these charts so accurate, all right? This right here will be your next support. Your next support level will be 11,000, potentially 11,100. You notice right here, we found support, we went way below it, we didn't quite hit it. If we come down, this will be your first support right here to catch a bounce. So in this video, I actually created a fib channel and I showed you where your likely support is if we drop. This is important because this is a Coinbase weekly chart, and I'm going to show you why I think 10,500 is a likely target. But just by creating this, it shows how accurate this is. And let me show you. So price currently is right here. I'm telling you that this is the point we would bottom. So this is and take note. This is 6 hours 4 minutes in. So this is 7 hours and 24 minutes in. Let me play a little clip of this and show you. This is one of my Bitstamp charts. This fib channel line coincides with that that target I gave on the Coinbase weekly chart. So let me play a little clip of this real quick. All right, we're getting ready to test 11,125. Let's see if it holds. You think it'll hold, or you think we'll just drop right through it, guys? I say it'll hold, at least temporarily. And keep in mind, gold is coming down. It is coming down. All right, we're getting ready to test support. 11,127. ADA is about to test support. We got good ways to come down for Tezos and Link. Tezos next support will be right here. All right, let's see if it holds. Hit the 5 channel line. That's how it goes. Yep, we found support right here, at least temporary support. You see every time it hits the 5 channel line, it bounces right back up. So, and this is what I was just showing, that in this video, you know, we were able to find the bottom, potentially where it would start pushing back up. You can see right here, ADA, found perfect support here. And we found support right here at this $11,125 for Bitcoin. So let me show you the actual chart. So this is the BTC USD 7 2620 chart. You clearly see we came down, we tested a support, we came up, this was our resistance, we pushed a little bit above it, we came back down, we tested it again. Guys, I don't use leverage. How I make money is I buy at strong support, ride it up, sell at resistance, take my profit, wait till we drop down again to support, ride it up, sell at resistance. So again, you know, if you use leverage, you know, these charts are helpful because it kind of gives you an idea. Well, you know, when this pushed up, you know, we know that this is a resistance level. So if it pushes up and stops at this point, this might be a point to short from. Right here, you can see we found support here. We dropped below it, we went back above it. So this is a potential point you would long from. And you can see it did push above this line, but I know that this is strong resistance. Even though we wicked above it, you see we came back down below, we tested it, so this is a point I was short from. We dropped down to the support level, so you know, you probably want to get out of short at this point. Obviously it came down below. Guys, it's always a gamble, but it's a safer play because you have support levels to play. So if it drops below this, you know, if I bought here and it dropped below, I would sell, but I have my next support level to buy in. So again, it's just safer having these support and resistance levels. And the reason I have this white is because, and the reason I know that this is strong resistance, if you go back, you can see that this line, we found support, it was support, right here was resistance, it was more support and resistance. So you know, I know this line as well as the line above is going to be very strong support and resistance. The more times that line is tested, going back, you know, a good bit, the more confident I am knowing that it's going to actually be a resistance level. And you can see, yes, we wicked above it, we did get above it, but we came back down below, came down, we tested it, came back down, we dropped below the support, this is your next support level, it pushed back up. So again, it's just a safer way to play if you know where your resistance levels are. If we keep pushing up right now, according to this chart, your next resistance is going to be right here at 11,706, because this is the next resistance level above. And then you also have this resistance level, and we know that this is strong support and resistance going by this price action here. So if you follow this down, you know, this also will be your resistance. So if we push up, you know, if we push up, we get rejected, and we kind of follow it up, you know, your resistance right here will be, you know, here's 11,736. So again, you have points to pay attention to. If you push up to this point, this would be a potential point to short from. And you know, I can add more fib channels. I will be updating all these charts, guys. These charts play out live on mobile phones, tablets, desktops. You do not need a TradingView account. All you do is you click the link, they load up, they play out live. They're also shareable, so if you click the copy icon, you can save it as your own. You'll need a TradingView account to do that. It's free to create, by the way. But when you click the copy icon, you can save the chart as your own, so you can change out the time frame, you can change, you can add your own indicators, you can remove stuff, basically break apart my work and see how I created these charts if you like. But just want to point that out. So let's get on to the Coinbase weekly chart. So this is probably one of my most important charts to pay attention to. If you want macro targets to the upside and the downside, the first target, I think it's more likely we're coming down to test potentially 10,400. If we do push above, and I'm going to break this down for you, but this line right here, you can see that we keep getting rejected at this line. Back here it was support, resistance. I'm going to show you this on another chart, but when we bring this back, it goes back a long ways, all the way to 2011. But you see this was support here. We did push above it a bit, but we got rejected, rejected, rejected. We did push above it a bit, came right back down, we got rejected 2 more times. So the line in the sand for me to get bullish is right here. Currently, we have to get above. If for me to get bullish, we have to get above 12,043. And if we're out here, you know, we have to get above 12,226. As long as we're below this yellow line, I am bearish. But if we do push above this line, your next target above will be right up here. You know, if you push straight up, your target is 14,054. You know, if we kind of go sideways and up, it's 14,245. And we know this because this line is the next fib channel line up, and you can see this has been being respected as support and resistance. We can go back even further. You can see back here, the price dropped right below, found resistance. So we know this is the next line above. So for a macro target to the upside, if we get above, you know, 12,000, right here would be 12,041. If we get above that, I get bullish to come up here and test 14,000. So let me create this fib channel line that that we used in the last live stream. So I came from this point to this point, and we're going to bring this up, and notice what I'm doing here. And guys, I have tutorials. You know, I create the charts that you can use, but if you're interested in charting like I do, you know, this is a method I created myself. If you want to learn how to create these charts, I have tutorials showing how to create these charts from scratch. So that is under premium content on the website. Do check that out. I do have different options. If you want to do lifetime, you get access to everything, all of the charts and the tutorials. And you know, like I said, that's for lifetime. You pay once, you're in for life. But again, I just want to let you know, I do teach you how to create these charts from scratch if you are interested. But if you'll notice, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to get, I need two lines to match. I know price is respecting this larger fib channel structure. When I pull this up, I'm going to get this green line to match the center line here, and I'm going to get this gray line to match this line. So I have get two lines that are matching. So when this line matches this line, and this line matches this line right here, so these two match up perfectly. Now I have a fib channel that price is respecting within a larger fib channel, and that's how I was able to get this support level. You see, we came down, we tested this as support. You know, I could probably get this a little more accurate, but basically you can see this was our support. That's how I found the support level. And notice where we're getting rejected, this fib channel line right here. And guys, it is so difficult, you know, to find support and resistance levels because there's so much noise. You get so many wicks up and down. So how would you find this perfect point to get rejected? I mean, again, using this method, using a larger structure, if I zoom out, you can see how large this chart is. I create a larger fib channel to encompass price action, and then I create smaller fib channels within. So that's how we're able to find these smaller targets based off of a larger chart. So for us to potentially, again, for me to get bullish, this could play out a number of ways, but for me to get bullish, we have to get above 12,041. So it's possible, you know, I think it's less likely we're going to go up and test it. It is possible we come up and test this. I think it's more likely we get rejected here. We'll probably come back down. We might find resistance at this ring, come back down and test this point. This is where I'll buy in, guys. I don't use leverage. I buy in at support. So potentially if we come down and test this point, you know, I'll write it up and take my profit at this point, which would be around 11,300. Expecting this to come down lower. We're going to cover the gaps. I think it's possible we come down and we at least test 9,600. I will cover that. But the bullish scenario, for me to get bullish, guys, we would have to come up. You know, we might come down, we might test this support, push back up, we might break above, we might test 12,104. Come back down, test this as support. If we get enough momentum to push above, right here where my cursor is at, this would be 12,164. We push above that. You know, potentially we might get rejected. We'll respect every single one of these fib channel lines on the way up. This is 12,631. If we come down and find support, that will be super bullish for me, for Bitcoin. If we find support on this trend line, I will be bullish to ride this up. To potentially, you know, we could come up, push above, find resistance, find support, push back up. You know, right here would be 14,371. So if we find support on this trend line, I will be bullish. As long as we are below, I am bearish. But I do think it's likely, since we got rejected so many times, I think it's more likely we're going to come down and probably do something like this. So that pretty much covers the Coinbase weekly chart. It has been updated. I'm going to be updating all of my current charts and then creating those other charts. So let me show you this trend line. So I've noticed that some other people out there doing TA. I guess you could draw this trend line different ways. This is not in log scale. I've seen some draw it like this, and this does kind of work. You can see that you know, this was, if we zoom in here, you can see that this right here was resistance right here. You see we got rejected here, we got rejected here. This was support, this was resistance. It gets a little, you don't find too much confluence here. I guess you get some resistance here, you get some support here, and then you have a little resistance and support here. I see, you know, a lot of people using this chart. To me, this still looks bearish, but the way I draw it, I use log scale. Let me go ahead and get rid of this. So if we go to log scale, this is the Bitstamp chart, so this goes back a good ways. I just want to show you how important this line is that I'm showing you as our current resistance. So if I go from right here where we're currently topped out and follow this all the way back, so this is our support. This goes all the way back, and price has been respecting this support level going back to, well, this is 2011. So this right here was resistance. You know, we wicked up to it right here. You know, I might have adjusted a bit. You see, we came down, we found resistance, we found support. This is 2013. We got support here, 2015. It was resistance here, and you got more support, more support, more support, and I might need to adjust it a bit. But you can see that, you know, we've been respecting this line going so far back as support and resistance. You know, right here was support, support, resistance. I need to pull it down just a bit. So I think that's more accurate. So right here, you know, this was support, support. Right here it was support, resistance. Right here you can see this is on the daily, by the way. This was support, this is resistance. You see we found support, and again, as soon as we broke it, this is when we crashed down to 3,855. We pushed back up, we got rejected, and we're still getting rejected at this point. So that's why I'm saying this trend line goes so far back. This is such a strong support and resistance level. You know, if we break above this, that's bullish. But for me, since we broke below a trend line that goes back that we were above since 2013, now that we're below this, to me, that is bearish. So, you know, again, this, like I said, that's why this is the line in the sand for me. If we're above this, I'm bullish. As long as we're below it, I'm bearish. And just to give you an example, you know, I showed this in the last live stream. You know, typically you get caught in these patterns. You know, right here was our resistance. Move this out of the way. Right here was our support. But notice what happens. You get caught in this pattern, you know, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. You break below support, you come back up, you test support, you get rejected, you come down. So, you know, on the larger time frame, on a larger scale, I see this exactly what happened. We came down, you know, you could say that we have a resistance level above. You know, this could be somewhat bullish, but I think that it's still bearish in the fact that we don't really know what this larger structure is above us. You know, we could come from, you know, this point here, and you know, this gives us a perfect wick right here, and right here. So this would be the trend line we're respecting. So it could be something like this. You know, we came up, we tested it. This is our support. This is our resistance. This is our support. We came up, we couldn't make it up. Now we broke out of this support, came up, tested its resistance, tested it again. We can't make it above it, so I think we're coming down. So that's why I'm bearish as long as we're below this line. So, you know, if you look at it this way, we've got two lines of resistance above us. You know, not going from this point here, but if you go from this wick right here at 17,199 to where we pushed up to 14,000, it's 13,954, you've got two resistance levels above us pushing us down. That's why, as like, again, I'm bearish as long as we're below this point. So, you know, we might, you know, I was telling you, if we push up, you know, I would be bullish. You know, we could get rejected potentially at, you know, out here would be 12,054, but we have potentially this resistance right here, which is at 11,861. So we'll have to pay attention, you know, see what trend line it is. But there's been so many times that, you know, I've seen people draw these trend lines and then price pushes above it and you readjust the trend line. So you really don't know what structure you're in, but we do know that this is a very strong resistance and support level going way back. We broke it, we're underneath it, that's why I'm bearish. So let me cover these gaps. So this is my Bitcoin CME Futures chart. So recently we just filled a gap between, it was 11,950 to 11,695. This gap right here was created on, this is the gap right here. It was formed right here on August 9th, 2019. And we just recently filled that gap. You know, price pushed up. You know, we got resistance at this point twice, rejected here. And then you see price pushed up. We filled the gap. We came back down to support, pushed above it. And notice when we filled this gap, we actually created a new gap. And notice this wick right here. This candle came down. This wick went all the way down, out of its way, right down to the bottom of this box. And you can see this is the gap from this point to this point. This wick came down just to fill this gap. So, you know, do they have to get filled? Well, probably not. Does it seem like price goes out of its way to fill them? I think so. Right here, you can see this was a gap that was formed. And we got this gap right here. So look at this wick right here. This wick came down just to fill this gap right here. Right here, we have a gap. This was a gap on 28th of July, right here. Look at this wick. This wick came down to perfectly fill this gap and went out of its way just to fill this tiny gap right here. And if we go back, you know, we had some larger gaps we filled. This gap right here, I mean, this is a pretty large gap back here. But notice, you know, this gap goes from down here to here. You know, price pushed up. You know, look where it wicked up to. It wicked right up just to make sure it filled this gap. Came back down, and then we had another gap that formed right here. This gap from here to here. Look at this wick. This wick came down to fill this gap, and then we pushed back up. So do they have to get filled? Again, it seems like price really does go out of its way to fill these gaps. There are gaps below. I mean, we have, and if you want to access this chart, guys, it's on the website if you want to zoom in and look for yourself, but we have a gap below us between 8,945, 8,920 right here. We have a gap here at 7,665 and 7,610. This is formed right here. And then we have a gap down here at 3,595 and 3,570. This gap this was created right back here on the 15th of February 2019. So I don't know that these smaller gaps will get filled, but you know, since price is going out its way to fill these gaps, it seems very likely that we'll come down and we'll fill this gap down below. And that is a significant gap. I mean, from 9,915 to 9,665. So it's very possible price drops down. We hit my target around 10,400, potentially right here. You know, we push up. I told you maybe 11,300 is where I would sell. Then we come down, we fill this gap, we could get a push back up, but I do think we are at least coming down to fill this gap, so at least a target of 9,665. And if all the gaps need to be filled before we start our bull run, you know, then we'd have to come down all the way to 3,370 to fill that last gap. But I just wanted to cover that to show you how it's just crazy how price just seems to go out of its way to fill these. So I'm going to go ahead and let you see how some of these charts played out in that live stream. Before I do that, guys, don't forget, if you want to win one of these coins, make sure you subscribe, leave a like, and comment. The next live stream, I'll pick the winner. Also, follow me on Twitter. It's Optical Art Chart. If you want me to create a chart for you, make sure you make a post below. And if you want to access my charts, guys, the link's in the description. It's opticalartcrypto.com. So let me go ahead and play these charts out and let you see how they played out during that live stream.